There are moments when your heart feels heavier than usual, when even simple things seem difficult, and you can't fully explain why. You try to carry on, you try to stay strong, but deep inside there is a weight that doesn't easily lift. It's in those quiet moments when you're alone with your thoughts that the feeling becomes even more real. You start to wonder if this heaviness means something is wrong, if it's a sign of being left behind, or if you're just not strong enough to handle what's in front of you. But what if this feeling is not a sign of weakness at all? What if it is a sign that something significant is being prepared for you? Sometimes before a major shift happens in your life, there is a period of pressure, a period where things feel uncertain, where emotions feel intense, and where clarity seems distant. It's not comfortable and it's not easy, but it is often meaningful. You are being stretched beyond your current limits, not to break you, but to make space for something greater. The weight you feel may not be there to hold you down, but to anchor you while something important is being built within you. And while you may not see it now, this moment could be shaping you for something far bigger than you imagined. There are times when the heaviness you feel inside cannot be explained by anything on the outside. Nothing dramatic may have happened, nothing obvious may have gone wrong, yet your heart feels weighed down in a way that is difficult to describe. You go through your day, you speak to people, you handle your responsibilities, but there is a quiet pressure within you that does not fully go away. It sits there, sometimes stronger, sometimes lighter, but always present enough for you to notice. In those moments, it is very easy to assume that something is wrong with you, that you are not coping well, or that you are falling behind in some way. But emotional heaviness is not always a sign that something is broken. Sometimes it is a sign that something is changing within you. Growth does not always feel light and uplifting. In many cases it feels uncomfortable, uncertain, and even overwhelming. When you are being stretched beyond your usual limits, your mind and heart are forced to process things at a deeper level than before. That process is not always smooth. It can feel like pressure building from within, as if you are carrying something that you cannot yet fully understand. Think about the moments in life when you had to grow the most. They were rarely the easiest times. They were often the periods when you were pushed to think differently, to act differently, and to face parts of yourself that you may have avoided before. That kind of growth requires energy, reflection, and emotional effort. It requires you to sit with thoughts and feelings that are not always comfortable. And that is where the heaviness begins to make more sense. It is not there to break you, but it is part of the process that is shaping you. There is also a layer of awareness that comes with this feeling. As you grow, you begin to notice things more deeply. You become more sensitive to your surroundings, to your own thoughts, and to the direction your life is taking. This increased awareness can feel heavy because you are no longer moving through life without thinking. You are reflecting more, questioning more, and understanding more. While this is a positive shift, it does not always feel easy in the moment. Sometimes emotional heaviness comes from letting go of things you once held on to. It could be expectations, habits, attachments, or even versions of yourself that no longer fit who you are becoming. Letting go is not always a quick or painless process. It involves accepting change, and change often comes with a sense of loss, even when it is leading you towards something better. That feeling of transition can create a weight that sits quietly in your heart until you fully adjust to the new reality. There are also moments when you are being prepared for something that requires more strength than you currently realize. Preparation does not always look like progress on the surface. Sometimes it looks like, but beneath that surface, something is being built. Your patience is being tested, your resilience is being strengthened, and your ability to handle pressure is being developed. These are not qualities that appear instantly. They are formed through experience and often through difficulty. It is important to understand that feeling heavy does not mean you are moving in the wrong direction. In fact, it can sometimes mean the opposite. It can mean that you are stepping into a phase of your life that requires more from you, and that you are in the process of rising to meet that demand. The discomfort you feel is not necessarily a warning sign. It can be part of the adjustment that comes with growth. There is also a tendency to compare your internal state with the external appearance of others. You may look at people around you and assume that they are lighter, happier, or more at ease. But what you see is not always the full picture. Everyone carries something, even if it is not visible. The difference is that each person is at a different stage of processing and understanding their own experiences. What you are feeling right now is part of your own journey, and it does not need to match anyone else's. Another important aspect of this heaviness is that it often invites reflection. It slows you down in a way that forces you to think more carefully about your choices, your direction, and your priorities. While this may feel uncomfortable, it can also be incredibly valuable. Without these moments, it is easy to move through life without truly understanding where you are going or why you are making certain decisions. The heaviness creates a pause, and within that pause, there is an opportunity to gain clarity. Additionally, it's worth recognizing that not all feelings need to be immediately solved or removed. There is a natural desire to get rid of discomfort as quickly as possible to find a way to feel light again. But some feelings are meant to be experienced for a period of time because they serve a purpose. They are part of a process that cannot be rushed. Trying to escape them too quickly can sometimes delay the very growth they are meant to bring. Over time, as you continue to move forward, the heaviness begins to change. It may not disappear all at once, but it becomes more understandable. You begin to see why you felt the way you did, what it was leading you toward, and how it contributed to your growth. What once felt like a burden starts to feel like a turning point. In the end, emotional heaviness is not always something to fear. It is not always a sign that you are failing or falling apart. Sometimes it is a sign that something meaningful is happening within you, even if you cannot fully see it yet. There are phases in life that feel confusing, heavy, and sometimes even discouraging, not because everything is falling apart, but because something is quietly shifting. You may look at your current situation and feel like you are stuck, like nothing is moving, like the progress you hoped for is nowhere in sight. Plans don't unfold the way you expected, opportunities don't come when you want them, and answers don't arrive when you need clarity the most. In those moments, it is very easy to assume that you are going backwards, or that you are simply not meant to reach what you've been hoping for. But often what feels like stagnation is actually preparation. Before something meaningful takes shape in your life, there is usually a period where things feel uncertain. It is a phase where your patience is stretched, your mindset is tested, and your expectations are quietly being reshaped. This phase does not come with clear explanations. It does not tell you exactly what it is preparing you for. Instead, it asks you to continue moving forward with limited understanding, trusting that there is a purpose behind what you are experiencing. Think about how many times in life something significant required time before it became visible. Growth does not happen instantly. It develops beneath the surface before it appears outwardly. In the same way, the changes happening in your life right now may not be obvious yet, but that does not mean they are not happening. You are being positioned, adjusted, and guided in ways that are not always visible in the moment. There is also a certain kind of discomfort that comes before positive change. It is the discomfort of leaving behind what is familiar, even if it was not ideal. It is the feeling of standing between what used to be and what has not yet arrived. That space can feel unstable because it lacks clarity. You are no longer fully connected to your past, but you have not yet stepped into your future. This in-between phase is often where the most important internal work takes place. During this time, you may find yourself questioning your direction. You might wonder if you made the right decisions, if you are on the right path, or if you should change course entirely. These questions are not signs of failure. They are part of the process of becoming more aware and more intentional about your life. They push you to think more deeply, to reflect more honestly, and to understand yourself better. It is also in these difficult phases that your resilience begins to take shape. When everything is easy, strength is not required. But when things become challenging, you are forced to find a deeper level of patience within yourself. You learn how to keep going even when motivation is low, how to remain steady even when outcomes are uncertain, and how to continue believing even when there is no immediate proof that things will improve. There are moments when you will feel like giving up, not because you are weak, but because you are tired of waiting, tired of not knowing, and tired of feeling like your efforts are not leading anywhere. That feeling is real, and it is part of the human experience. But it is also in those moments that something important is being built within you. The ability to continue despite uncertainty is one of the strongest forms of growth a person can experience. Another aspect of this phase is that it begins to shift your understanding of success and timing. You start to realize that not everything happens according to your schedule, and that your timeline is not always the one that leads to the best outcome. What feels delayed may actually be aligned with a timing that is more suitable for your growth, your circumstances, and your future. You may also notice that certain things are being removed from your life during this time. Opportunities that seem promising may disappear, plans may fall apart, and connections may change. At first, this feels like loss, but in many cases it is part of making space for something more aligned with where you are heading. It is difficult to receive something new while holding on to things that no longer fit your direction. This process can feel lonely at times because not everyone around you will understand what you are going through. From the outside, it may look like nothing is happening, but internally there is a lot taking place. Your mindset is shifting, your priorities are changing, and your perspective is evolving. These internal changes are often more important than external progress because they shape how you will handle what comes next. There is also a quiet discipline that develops during this phase. You learn to show up even when you don't feel like it. You learn to keep going even when results are not immediate. You learn to be consistent in small ways even when you are unsure of the bigger picture. These habits may seem small, but they become the foundation for future stability and success. Sometimes the change you are waiting for does not arrive in the way you expected. It may come in a different form, at a different time, or through a completely unexpected path. And when it does, you begin to realize that if things had happened the way you originally planned, you might not have been ready for it. Or it might not have worked out as well as it does now. Even though it is difficult, this phase carries meaning. It is not empty and it is not wasted. Every moment of uncertainty, every delay, every challenge is contributing to something that is still unfolding. You may not see the full picture yet, but that does not mean it is not being carefully arranged. There are parts of your life that no one else sees. Moments where you are trying your best, even when you feel like you have nothing left to give. Times when you hold yourself together in front of others, but inside you are quietly struggling. It is in these unseen moments that your real strength is being built. Not when everything is easy, not when people are praising you, and not when life feels comfortable, but when you are alone with your thoughts and still choosing to keep going. Strength is often misunderstood. People think it is about never feeling weak, never feeling tired, and never feeling overwhelmed. But real strength is much quieter than that. It is waking up and continuing even when you don't feel motivated. It is choosing patience when frustration is easier. It is holding on to hope when nothing around you seems to be changing. These are the moments that shape who you are becoming, even if no one else recognizes them. There is a certain kind of growth that only happens in silence. When there is no audience, no validation, and no immediate reward, your actions come from something deeper. You are no longer doing things for recognition or approval. You are doing them because you understand that they matter, even if the results are not visible yet. That kind of consistency builds a foundation that cannot be shaken easily. Sometimes you will question whether your efforts are worth it. You will wonder if all the patience, all the waiting, and all the quiet perseverance are leading anywhere. It is natural to feel that way when you do not see immediate outcomes. But not all progress is meant to be seen right away. Some of the most important changes are happening within you, slowly shaping your mindset, your character, and your ability to handle what lies ahead. In these unseen moments, you are learning how to deal with yourself. You are learning how to manage your thoughts when they become overwhelming. You are learning how to stay calm when situations are uncertain. You are learning how to carry responsibilities without letting them break you. These lessons are not taught in easy times. They come through experience, through repetition, and through moments where you have to figure things out without clear guidance. It is also in these moments that your patience is tested in the most real way. It is easy to be patient when you know exactly when something will happen. But when there is no clear timeline, when you do not know how long you have to wait, patience becomes something deeper. It becomes a choice you make every day, even when it is difficult. And that kind of patience builds a strength that stays with you long after the situation has passed. There is also a quiet discipline that develops when you continue without external motivation. You begin to rely less on how you feel in the moment and more on what you know is right. Even when your emotions fluctuate, even when your energy drops, you still show up. That discipline becomes a part of you. It shapes how you approach life, how you handle challenges, and how you move forward when things are uncertain. Many people give up during these unseen phases because they feel like nothing is happening. They assume that if results are not visible, then effort is being wasted. But that is not how growth works. Just because something is not visible does not mean it is not real. Just because progress is slow does not mean it is not happening. Some of the most important changes take time, and they require consistency even when there is no immediate feedback. There will be moments when you feel like you are behind, like others are moving ahead while you are still struggling. It is easy to compare your situation with what you see around you. But what you see is only a small part of someone else's journey. You do not see their struggles, their doubts, or the challenges they have faced. Your path is different, and the timing of your growth is unique to you. In these quiet phases, you are being prepared in ways that are not always obvious. You are developing the ability to handle pressure, to stay grounded, and to move forward without constant reassurance. These qualities are not built overnight. They are developed slowly through repeated experiences that test your limits and push you to grow. There is also a level of self-understanding that comes from these moments. When you are not distracted by constant activity, you begin to notice your patterns. You start to see how you react to different situations, what triggers your emotions, and what helps you stay balanced. This awareness allows you to make better decisions and to respond more thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Over time, the things that once felt overwhelming begin to feel manageable, not because they have become easier, but because you have become stronger. The same challenges that once made you doubt yourself no longer have the same impact. You handle them with more patience, more clarity, and more confidence. It is important to remember that just because something is unseen does not mean it is unimportant. The work you are doing in these quiet moments matters. The effort you are putting in, even when no one is watching, is shaping your future in ways you may not fully understand yet. Nothing you are going through is meaningless. And if you've come this far, still holding on, still trying, still believing, even when it's difficult, then don't stop here. Keep going, keep growing, and keep trusting the process you are in. And if this message speaks to you, stay connected for more reminders like this, because sometimes all we need is a few words at the right time to keep us moving forward.